Well, welcome finally to the Hope podcast studio here at Lemoore College. I'm James Preston, president here at Lemoore College, and we are so excited. This is the first episode of a podcast series called Stay Golden, and I have a couple of guests here today. So to my right, I have Zara Sims, our director of Hope. So we're excited. Come on, guys, give it up for Zara. Yes, yes. Yes,
Thank
good.
you.
And to my right, I've got Monica Vargas, coordinator of Special Grants, Rising Scholars, Juvenile Justice.
Yep.
That's good.
Yes.
Good, right there. So yes, so super excited. So Stay Golden will be a podcast sharing stories about current and former Golden Eagles and highlighting innovative and inclusive excellence. So just telling our stories and telling the stories of our students and all of that. But before we get to any of that, I'm already throwing around this acronym HOPE, which stands for Having Opportunity and Purpose Through Education. And we have an initiative at Lemoore College we've had for a few years, and we have our HOPE director. And all of this was started a while back with a gift from a special someone. Zara, you want to tell us, let's tell the story. How did HOPE come to be?
So HOPE came to be through a generous donation from Mackenzie Scott, who is the ex-wife of the former CEO of Amazon.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos,
Yes.
Right. And she was just giving away money, and she decided that our little wonderful school deserved a nice sum. And so here we are.
Here we are. So an amazing multi-million-dollar philanthropic gift.
Yeah.
She dropped, I think, 285 that day, 285 different organizations.
Yes.
But she awarded colleges, nonprofits, other entities based on the work that they have done.
Yes.
So she saw the good work we were doing with Achieving the Dream and some other things,
Right.
and gave us the money. And really the idea behind Mackenzie's gifts are, if you're doing good things, we want to support that, and you'll go do more good things.
Right.
And so with that, we launched HOPE.
We launched the HOPE Initiative,
Yeah.
and we've been doing great things since. And so the HOPE Initiative, let me start there, is made up of 3 different strands. So it is pre-college, college, and community. So pre-college would be our 5C program, our Get Strong program, our Jumpstart programs for middle school, high school seniors, juniors, to prepare them, to get them on the college campus so that they can kind of get a feel for what it's like, see how it feels to sit in the classroom, do some really cool things over the summer. Then we have our college lane, which includes programs like Umoja, like Rising Scholars, which we'll talk about shortly. Other cool things that we have here, a Year of Hope, which supports a lot of our cultural programming and the things that we do to give student voice. And then we have Community Hope, which includes partnerships with United Way, with Tachi, with Santa Rosa Rancheria, with United Way, with other strong partnerships we have in the community. And part of that is this podcast studio, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the Hope Podcast Studio is to give community a voice, to give our student community
and
a
just
voice.
to add to that, so we've had these 3 lanes, and kind of those look different each year a little bit in terms of
Yeah.
what's funded, but really
Yeah.
kind of the foundation of the HOPE initiative is serving underserved populations, right? Providing representation for underrepresented groups, and that's really where the core of the work has been out of the gate. And
Yes.
so that's been really excited. But the other thing we talk a lot about is coming back from the pandemic. We just thought it was crucial to put the community back in community college.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've done that really on campus with a variety of different things, but also reaching out to our community and engaging our community. So just last week, we're recording right now, just at the end of October. Oh, by the way, this cup right here, I just wanted a little shout out to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I probably
Here
just,
we
if we
go.
had 6 people following and 3 were Giants fans, we're down to 3 now. But I just want to say, when you watch this, either the Dodgers are world champs or it was the most epic, colossal failure of all time.
Where's
They're
the
up
Raz
3-0 right
button?
now.
We need like a Raz button, like
Yes.
ah.
Nah, boo, boo. No, but just amazing event. So even, just this past month, we're in October, just this past week, honestly, we've had over 2,000 people at Lemoore College.
Yep.
Just engaging in community events. We had
Yep.
a walk, Lola's Walk, breast cancer awareness. We did domestic violence prevention run with King's Partnership and
Yep.
KCOE. We did Preview Day, which was for high school seniors, and we
Yes.
did our fall festival, which was like trunk or treat for families. But the whole idea, putting community back in community college and then providing hope for our
Right,
community.
right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yep.
it's literally in the title.
Yep.
It's in the title. It's in the title. So
in
Zara
the
comes on
title.
board, and she's done an amazing job as our director. And as we talked about populations that were underserved, one of those for our college specifically was looking at formerly incarcerated and justice involved individuals. So we reached out and we put some grant applications together.
Yes, we did.
With the Rising Scholars Network. You want to talk a little bit about Rising Scholars Network?
Yes, so the Rising Scholars Network is a network across the state community colleges. It's an initiative by our chancellor. And it's just been a rousing success. Different colleges get funding to support formerly incarcerated students. Some of the colleges have funding for students who are behind the walls, and so who are incarcerated and they are taking college courses. But we are serving those who are formerly incarcerated. And I think it's important to kind of make that distinction because people think we go into the prisons. We don't. We are serving our students who have come home or who have been just as involved in some type of way, just to help get them on the college campus, let them know that you are not your mistake. We are here to support you. You can have a career. You can have a family-sustaining income. You can have a college degree. And we're here to support that, and that's through strong partnerships with Fresno State, with our sister college, Kalinga College, and with our network. It's a really strong, powerful network across the state. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so Fresno State has a Project Rebound, which has been around for years. So we've leaned on them heavily as we've started to grow. Our sister college, Kalinga College, home of the Falcons, they have a Rising Scholars program that is in a couple of prisons that are around us here in Kings and Fresno County. But we started a new one, which is Rising Scholars Juvenile Justice. And so our coordinator of that program, we just call it JJ.
We call it JJ.
Rising Scholars JJ, because it's a lot of syllables to say Rising
Right.
Scholars Juvenile Justice. I believe it's 9 syllables. So, but we've got Monica. And before Monica shares a little bit about what's going on with Rising Scholars Juvenile Justice, Monica, I want you to share a little bit just kind of about your personal and professional journey. How did you end up as our coordinator, and where were you before that?
So I was a student here back in 2017.
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
Yes.
And I actually graduated with my associates in administration of justice because back then I wanted to be a probation officer. And I had a heart for the youth, and so I knew I wanted to work in a capacity where maybe they weren't given tools and resources that would have helped them be their best version, you know? So again, probation was my road. Went to Fresno State, graduated with my bachelor's in criminology, and I had an internship over at the DA's office, and I loved it. I was very, very grateful for the opportunity. But I started to look back on what changed my life, and I know it's super corny, but it was education. I remember being in 8th grade and hearing the term "knowledge is power." And I was like, what is that supposed to mean, right? And I feel like it's just one of those things, like if you know, you know. You know, you walk into doors that you never thought that you'd walk into. You're in rooms and spaces that you never thought that you'd even belong in. And so I came back to the place that gave me that opportunity, and I started working as a student services technician over in admissions and records. And when this job came up, I was like, okay, wait, these are my two worlds colliding. And I constantly tell people it's a dream job without knowing it existed. And then I just like have to give more props to Lemoore College because I'm like, it didn't exist. They literally create, you know, it was something that came up because you guys went out, we went out for a grant, and now I get to do something that fulfills me in every capacity.
That's awesome. I'm smiling just because we have many stories that we'll share on Stay Golden just about former students that have come here, had a purpose, had a plan, and then they launch from the nest. We always talk about kicking them out of the nest nicely, but we know they're going to fly. And then hope many times that they will come back. And that's exactly what you've done in a couple of different roles, and now in this leadership role. So
it's so funny. I got to jump in because when we first did Rising Scholars 2.0, which is serving formerly incarcerated, we did a professional development on, you know, best practices for working with formerly incarcerated students and stuff like that. And after it was over, Monica runs up to me and she says, whatever I can do to support, whatever I can do, those are my people, whatever I can do. And I was like, okay, like, what, you know, I didn't know anything about her. Then when we went out for the coordinator of special grants, her resume, it just blew us out of the water. She's just so, like she said, it was tailor-made for her, and she's just taken it and has done a fantastic job. In only, 9 months? Has it even been 9 months?
Wow.
March you came on?
Yeah, it was
So
March.
it hasn't even been,
That's
you know,
awesome.
it's been like 7 months, so.
So tell us a little bit, Monica, about what support what Rising Scholars Juvenile Justice is. Like, who specifically in Kings County, who do we work with? What support do we provide? What does that look like?
Yeah, for sure. So we specifically work with high school students who are justice impacted in any way. Maybe they've been in juvenile hall, maybe they went to court and got put on probation. We even kind of stretch it to, anyone who has gang activity, right? So what happens a lot of times is everyone's connected in some way in that kind of lifestyle, right? Our main work happens in Kings County Juvenile Hall, and we go in there twice a week, sometimes more, and we do what we can to bring Lemoore College in there. And we have them enrolled in classes. We try to find their spark. That's a big thing that we say. What's your spark? What interests you? What's your passion?
Yeah.
And we kind of just take off from there. What we do is and I hate to say that we do it, because really the kids, once they find their confidence, once they find their spark and they realize, okay, wait, I can do this, it definitely shifts things. And as much as I love seeing the kids have control over something, they're able to make something their own through their papers, through their projects, through discussion boards, different things like that. One thing that I didn't think we were going to get out of it that has been very rewarding to me is we've even shifted the culture inside of the juvenile hall.
Wow.
We see that the guards in there, they're asking the students, hey, what do you have going on today? Like, oh, hey, did you tell her about this, test that you took that we, helped you on or whatever? And it just seems like they have more to talk about. There's more in common. We even have some guards who are Lemoore College students, right?
Yeah, wow.
And so, like I said, it's just like, it feels so awesome to go in there and to know that we're bringing something to them that they might not have had, otherwise.
So leaning into that college-going culture early, right? These are formative years with individuals that have had some challenges, but it's, like I said, it's kind of early on in their life journey, and giving them that opportunity, giving them hope, right? Again, the acronym is having opportunity and purpose through education, right? So doing that early. What have been some of the biggest challenges? Because it's not easy just to say, hey, we're going to get a partnership, we're going to go into J.C. Montgomery, we're going to just educate young people that are in juvenile, facilities. So what's been some of the biggest challenges?
I was thinking about it, and I feel like such a nerd, because honestly, our partners have been amazing. And I feel like the biggest challenge has been like MOUs, just like the technicalities of things, right? Like having to, make sure things are signed, and just the what is it, like the proper paperwork, because
education acronym alert, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. That might be a thing on the Stay Golden podcast, because we're big on acronyms.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We need to break down some.
We need to break it down. So MOUs, so I mean, just paperwork, making sure that liability is covered, all of those different types of things.
There were a few glitches with technology.
Yes.
Good.
Sometimes, because it is a facility, their firewalls are up, and it's really sometimes difficult to break through that. We had some problems with getting them signing on to the computers and the laptops. So can you please talk about how you changed that culture that has made a change across the state?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sign into your student portal, a lot of times, and this is, I think, with anything, like even when you sign into like Netflix and Google and things like that, what happens is they want a one-time passcode. So they'll send it to your email, they'll text it to you, and it's just like usually a like 6-digit code.
Two-factor authentication.
Right. And, you plug it in. Well, again, going back to the firewalls and different things like that, it just didn't, it wasn't the best option for students to, have that. So what we did is we introduced something called a YubiKey, and it literally looks like a USB drive, right?
Okay.
And it works just like one too. You plug it into the side of a laptop, they just tap it, and it generates this one-time passcode. So it completely eliminates the need to have
a
them,
cell phone to do this
Yeah.
two-factor or anything else, because they're not allowed to have cell phones anymore.
Now, Z, you said take it across the state. So, talk about what happened after Monica came up with a solution for the program.
So after Monica came up with the solution, I had never heard of I was like, a Yuba what? What?
Like most people under the age of 15 probably haven't heard of a USB.
Right, exactly.
Right, but you've never heard of a YubiKey.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I had reached out to our regional coordinator for the Rising Scholars Network and talked about some of the work that we were doing. And she said, hey, this is something that can be a game changer. And Monica, can you like put together kind of like a best practice? And I wish I had a copy of this report. It looked like something that, it was just beautiful. This beautiful report that she put together on best practices, how to use it, how to avoid fraud with it, how to keep it safe, even the safekeeping of it.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. So that went to the state level, to the State Rising Scholars Network, and Monica had the opportunity to present it to the state. They reached out to the chancellor's office, to the technology guru there. Monica met with her, and she presented it to the state. And so now this is going to be a practice that the Rising Scholars Network is going to recommend. And they have found that it not only helps with students who are incarcerated, but also students who are unhoused, who or have housing insecurity. They may not have a cell phone or access to a laptop. Foster youth students. I mean, it can just help so many people.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and so
Yeah, so we talk about Stay Golden being like that gold standard for us is innovative and inclusive excellence, and that's an example of both.
Yep.
Right, just both.
Absolutely.
So, Monica, dream big. 3 years from now, down the road, talk to us. What does Rising Scholars JJ look like, and how will we know that the program has been successful and served the Hope mission of serving underserved and underrepresented groups?
Yeah, man, I got teary-eyed like just listening to that because I think about it. I have a vision, and my vision is just to see a space where my students can come in and out and know that that's where they belong. And if they don't feel worthy or accepted in any other space, there's at least an area here on campus that they can go in and out, right? I also think of in 3 years, I totally see myself being a psycho over in the arena up at the top because I'm seeing some of my students walk across that stage.
Yeah.
And being the first in their family to get a college diploma education, those are the biggest things.
Yeah, community colleges, we have the opportunity to change trajectories of lives, right? And even more so now, unbelievable work. So
in such a
cool.
short amount of time.
Yeah.
And changing culture, too.
Yeah, just awesome. Good. Well, Monica, thank you for sharing everything that's going on with Rising Scholars JJ.
Yes.
Juvenile Justice. So we're wrapping up. I'm going to pivot a little bit. We're just going to kind of wrap up our first episode of Stay Golden here in the Hope podcast studio. So Z, we've been trying to put this thing together for about a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
I would say. And that's that, for a minute, as they say. But in terms of the rollout now, let's talk a little bit about what it's going to look like for spring. We're going to do a few episodes that we'll put out there that we're doing here, but it's going to be much more than just a couple of us getting together and sharing out. It's intended to be much bigger than that. So talk to us a little bit about the rollout of the Hope Podcast Studio.
So like you said, we're going to do a few pilot episodes just to get our feet wet and get a feel for things. Shout out to our wonderful student crew.
Yes.
You got to give them props, right? Because they're here, they show up, they show out. But as spring comes, we're going to open this up slowly to faculty that can come and they can do some curriculum. They can teach a class right here.
Yeah.
They can teach a class right here. Then maybe some interviews on some things that are going on like AI, maybe some curriculum development that faculty is doing, and then eventually include students.
Yep.
Probably by next fall,
Yeah.
where it can be student-led and students can come in and do their jam, whatever they want to do, spoken word, they can sing, play your guitar, do whatever you're working on with class. Some peer mentorship, I would love to see that develop out of this. And then we just go from there. Eventually the community.
It's
a process.
Yeah.
We are putting things in place. We are putting protocol in place. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this. So innovative once again.
Yes.
Right? I'm actually looking up how a radio station, a campus radio station was ran, because it's going to be very similar.
Right.
So as far as sign up and liability with the equipment, things like that, it's a process. So we're asking everyone's patience. We've gotten so many inquiries, right? Can I get in there?
Let's get ready to
I have
roll.
a great idea. I want to do that. And we love it and we want that, but we have to do it all. But we used to say back in church back in the day, in decency and order.
Yes.
Things have to be done in
I like
decency
that.
and order.
I have to remember that phrase.
Yeah, the pastor used to always say that. Decency and order. We say, okay, pastor. So with decency and order, we're going to roll this thing out, but we want it to be accessible to everyone who wants to come in and just contribute to our campus and our community.
Yeah. That's good. So we're excited. We're finally rolling. We're finally getting this thing done.
Yeah.
And just a few shout outs. So we do have our students. So I want to shout out Alexis, Devin, Diego, and Gaspar for they're behind the cameras today and in the sound booth. I want to shout out our marketing director, Amber Myrick, who's been instrumental in getting us rolling.
Thank you,
and
Amber.
Antonio Tony. He's our marketing assistant here at the college. He'll have some dedicated time to the podcast studio. And then last but not least, kind of the architect, I think we want to call him, Laren Baker, the video
quarterback, the
maker,
architect,
the dean of videography.
Yes.
Hollywood, Laren Baker. So if you're looking to build a podcast studio, that's an unshameless plug for Laren Baker right there to do your work for you, because he's
he did
built
all of
something.
this.
He's built something pretty spectacular.
And those who know what this room looked like.
Yes,
Before.
it looked like those who know. Yes, there was a lot of technology in here, none of it which was working.
Right.
Yes, and it's looking a little bit different. So
yeah.
so that's it. That's a wrap. WRAP, not RAP, not for today. I'm not going to drop any raps on the first episode of Stay Golden.
We'll have to wait.
But thank you so much for joining us, and stay strong, stay golden.